broadcast position, and there's an offensive foul going the other way as Jayla Crawford is miffed. She thought that the defender didn't have position.
Hey, yeah, Mike. So I would say good to be back with you for this last broadcast, but I know this dynamic duo is going to continue for the baseball broadcast. I'm going to say that now. Looking forward to the ladies tonight coming off of a hard-fought game they had the other night against Alabama A&M.
And this game, as there's another three, White misses too strong on that one. There's a long pass down the floor, finding Taisha Rudolph for the easy lay-in. And this Alabama State team will not go away. They're one of the best teams in the SWAC. They came up 1 point shy of winning the SWAC championship against Jackson State last season. And even though BCU is off to a hot start, they're going to have to keep it going. And the first half has been the issue for the Wildcats this season. We've seen many times their comeback ability in the second half of games.
Yes, our team is based on bursts. And when I mean bursts, we have stretches where we have good stretches offensive, and then we have not good offensive stretches.
As that was another mid-range jumper by Kayla White to restore the 7-point advantage for BCU. You said stretches, and there was a definite red patch yesterday as another layup goes begging for Ward, but
Mike,
it
we
was
got to
bounced
come
out
up
of
with
bounds.
those. We got to come up with those, Mike, because we had 3 defenders around for the rebound. We have to. It's critical. Rebounding is going to play a key issue.
Yeah, I mean, on Saturday night, BCU started the game much like this. They were going tit for tat with Alabama A&M, but then A&M scored 16 straight points, and they led by 19 at the half, and it's a hole that BCU, while valiantly, they couldn't fight out of.
Right now, we're pretty much underwomaned, and I mean in our bigs. We only have one real true big on the team, so we have to be.
But right now, they're using their quickness as Kayla White just misses on that layup. In transition, in traffic, and an offensive foul as Hannah White barrels into a defender.
I'm loving this defense. We're taking a lot of charges, stepping in, creating the contact to get that offensive foul. I see for the 2 seniors, because this is their last time in Moore Gym. I look for Kayla and Cam to take control, especially Cam Harris, who's shooting a tad under 40% from 3.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if Camry Harris is going to play that much tonight. She hasn't looked like her normal self after going down with an injury right at the end of Saturday's game. She has seen the floor for a little bit so far. Double team in the corner as White works out of it. Back to Reed, excuse me.
White has been a solid point guard this year.
I was talking to our SID Bryce Hoynoski last night as underneath it goes to Reed. She can't get the right-hand layup to fall. And we were talking about the future of this women's basketball team. On a run is the top scorer for Alabama A&M, Ayanna Emmanuel. She lays it in. But about the future of this Wildcats team, and it is very bright because we are so young. I mean, Kayla Clark, the center, is a freshman. Kayla White, who's on the ball now, is a freshman. Spin in the lane. That's Taylor Williams from Rahway, New Jersey, and she gets it to fall. Taylor Williams is a junior, and Morgan Beechum, their top scorer, is a junior.
I love Taylor Williams' game. I'm going to tell you like this. The handle, watching her in practice, I nicknamed her, you know me.
Ooh, that time it's going to be a charge called against White as she just couldn't set her feet before the contact.
Williams, I gave her a little nickname from her. I call her little baby Kyrie. Now, let me be specific for the people out there that are listening. Her handle is so much like his, and she finishes like him, twisting and torting and coming into the lane. I love her for that. White is just, to me, she's the super glue of the women's team. She's that senior leadership.
And she can score from anywhere, can
yes.
White. 3-level scoring, down low, mid-range, three-pointer.
Yes. And something that's been a great surprise, well, she's not a surprise, but she's been a good, solid player, is Imani Reed. Imani Reed has come on these past few weeks, and I'm very proud of her.
And before you got here, I was actually talking about the dynamic between Clark and Reed at the 5 position, and they've gone through this sort of identity crisis down low where they have Clark, who's a freshman that they don't want to give a ton of minutes to, but then Reed is only 5'10", and here's a backdoor pass. Tatum Hayes comes up short with the lay-in, but Clark, and that's where you want the length of the 6'3" center.
Clark is going to be something that's going – I'm going to put it out here. She's going to make all SWAC next year. I'm going to put that out here.
Down low towards Clark, poked away by Ninji.
I would have rather her send that down to the corner and put that entry pass to the post.
In traffic, and G can't get it to fall. 11 seconds left to go in the quarter. This will be the last possession for BCU. Harris steps into a three, just a little bit too strong. Clark skies for the board, taps it back to Williams. 1 second left, double dribble, and the clock runs out, but still an excellent opening quarter for Bethune-Cookman as they lead the Hornets of Alabama State 19-15. We'll take a short break and be right back. This is BCU basketball on the Cat-Eye Network. Well, we are not done just yet. They put 1 second back on the clock as the foul, or the double dribble rather, was before the end of the quarter. But now we will head to break and be right back. 19-15, BCU on top of ASU.
Kids will be better for that, and I'm really excited because they'll have some more pieces coming.
One of two goes down, and BCU takes a 20-19 lead, 7:45 to go in a rapidly moving first half. Here is Hannah White wearing number 24 for Alabama State in the all-pink road jerseys today. Rudolph, double team, turns it over to Williams. Taylor Williams on a drive, third fast break for BCU in the game, and it's going to be a foul underneath. I'm not sure that's in the act of shooting because I think Kayla Clark was gathering the ball. And that is on Ayanna Emmanuel, and I believe that's her second or third foul. We do not have live stats for today's broadcast. It's a bit of an issue with the stats program, so we'll keep you up to date as we get those numbers.
That's the thing I'm telling you about Mike Clark. She's tenacious on the boards. I love that about her. To be so young, she's already, in a sense, like a Dennis Rodman knew how the ball was coming off the rim. She's got a feel for more Jim on how that ball is coming off.
10 on the shot clock for Williams to work with. Williams to the lane again, goes around her defender and gets it to go with the left hand. She just completely sold the fake to Ayanna Emmanuel.
There goes that twisted and torque I was talking about, going to the hole. Outstanding move.
And there's a post move, and it works to perfection, and the foul for Shemaya Ward. First team All-SWAC, and Boxtro second team All-American a season ago.
How she called for the ball, Mike, was great fundamentals. She boxed her man in, called for it with the opposite hand, got it, and won.
One of the things that this Alabama State team can really bring to bear, you mentioned, is their length. They are mostly forwards. They only have 4 guards on their roster. And even their guards, they're coming in at 5'9", 5'9", 5'11", as there's a turnover, as a pass goes begging the way of Williams. And to come up against a team that has an overall height advantage against you like that, especially on the defensive end, how would you play it as a coach? How do you rotate, and how do you keep out of foul trouble?
Well, coach is doing a great job of mixing up defenses, man, and zone when she feels comfortable that they need to preserve the bigs. Right now they're in a man defense, but with a big team, you pretty much have to do almost like Golden State gave you the blueprint. Golden State Warriors, small team, we're going to try to run and shoot you out the gym.
Emmanuel was open for 3 that time, could not hit. It's a tie ball game at 22, and a holding foul is going to go against Alabama State. And that's Hannah White. So this is the complete opposite of the game we called a couple of weeks, I guess more of a month ago now, between Jackson State and BCU on the men's side,
yes,
where there were almost no whistles, and I don't think anybody fouled out of that game.
No, they didn't. It was that was almost like an 80s NBA game, that game.
But we got the exact opposite here tonight with a very closely called contest. 8 to shoot for Harris. Down low to Clark with 5. Back out to Harris, 3. She got to get something off at the horn, and she got it.
Cam.
I'm telling you what, Moore Gymnasium is going to miss numero uno after this season.
Yes.
Again, into the low post goes Ward. That was a long 2 on the way from Emmanuel. She has not quite found her scoring range so far in the ball game. Usually scores about 14.6 points a game. Williams, down low. Here is Imani Reed, no good. Clark battles for the rebound. Back out Hayes, wide open for 3, off to the left, and Clark grabs another offensive board.
She is ferocious on the boards, Mike. I love it.
She is matching up very well with the top rebounder on Alabama State's team, Shemaya Ward. Harris with 10 to shoot, trying to work through the traffic. Nowhere to go with the ball. Now Tatum Hayes comes open. And down low it goes, and it's going to be another foul against White for the push-off.
She's trying to use the old Gary Payton move there, Mike. Try to pull the seat from under the defender.
We have reached the halfway point of the second quarter. That means immediate timeout. BCU with the ball, up by 3 when we come back. This is Wildcat Basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Wildcat fans, if you can't make it to tonight's game, you can watch Bethune-Cookman men's basketball take on Alabama State live on ESPNU tonight at 9 p.m. Check out BCUathletics.com for more information. That's ESPNU on cable, and if you can also find the broadcast at ESPN.com/watch. Michael Tremendo, Major Fillmore in the building for the final women's basketball contest of the season, as BCU has a 3-point lead over Alabama State. And you mentioned to me during the break about Kayla Clark, who has a game-high 8 rebounds.
Yeah, Clark is, like I said, just to be a freshman, she's really smart.
And an over and back is going to be called against Tatum Hayes as she chased that ball into the backcourt.
I'm looking for Clark to be more and more aggressive. He's getting smarter, real smart. I mean, she's a smart kid anyway.
Hayes, I think that ball came off her foot as she almost took that away from Crawford. Tatum Hayes, no stranger to winning, is a 3 straight Florida High School State title winner at Fort Myers High School and a 1,000-point scorer at that level. Here is Emmanuel cutting through the lane, and there's a layup for Ayanna Emmanuel.
That was pretty, Mike. That was very pretty.
She is one of the better athletic guards in this conference, up there with Dejasia Rogan from Jackson State.
Yes.
And Emmanuel up to 13 points as Reed goes up and under.
That looked like a Karl Malone move right there.
Yeah, a little bit of a classic hook shot from underneath there. Off of a screen here is Sanders, double teamed, almost coughs it up. And Camry Harris may be lucky she didn't get called for a reach there as ASU controls with Sanders. In the corner now, Rudolph.
The one thing, we may be undersized, Mike, but our ball pressure is exquisite.
There's a mid-range jump shot that goes down from Crawford, and the lead is cut back to just 1. A game-high 13 points for Ayanna Emmanuel so far.
And I'm impressed by her game. I've been impressed by it all season.
Williams trapped in the corner. Harris now. Williams. It was a backdoor cut by Hayes, but didn't find a pass. Now Reed with 4 to shoot, coughs up the basketball to Crawford in transition. Underneath the basket, ripped away by Camry Harris on Ayanna Emmanuel.
Good defense. Cam does very intelligent moves. You saw that the defender was going to try to use a shoulder to shed her where the ball was coming, and she put her hand right on it.
And Camry Harris right now is rubbing her elbow a little bit. Maybe she went hard into that padded boards along the back wall here at the gymnasium. And there's the tallest player on the floor, Tamiria Thomas, wearing number 25 for Alabama State. Got the ball taken away from her on the inbounds pass.
I think she got a funny bone hit, Mike.
And those are not fun.
No, they're not.
Kayla White back into the ball game. She got the rare start today, the freshman from Cleveland, Ohio. 9 to shoot now for Hayes. Hayes spins, puts up a layup, no good. A deflection on the rebound. Can't stop the break for Alabama State. And Rudolph runs the floor and lays it in to give Alabama State their first lead of the second quarter, 28-27.
Transition defense, Michael. We're going to have to ensure that we have somebody back. I count about 3 uncontested layups that they've had.
Now, and Bethune-Cookman has also had fast break transition opportunities. And you feel maybe that's one of the stats that we will look back at when the game is over. Step back mid-range jump shot, no good from Williams. Emmanuel again. And that is the 6'3" and a half Tamiria Thomas from Pike Road, Alabama.
And there's the length becoming a factor.
And there's a block on the other end. This time one-on-one harm from Rudolph against Harris. And then in transition, it's going to be an and-one opportunity for Emmanuel.
This is where I want to see senior leadership come in to be a factor. Rallying the troop to say, hey, we got to keep our composure. Let's win this game.
ASU on an 8-0 run over the past 2 minutes and 48 seconds. And while it's not as drastic as Saturday, you get a little bit of those similar kinds of vibes from from this second quarter as a whole.
But I feel that the ladies have learned from that, Mike, and what they're going to do is press forward and close out this half on a good note.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get a screen in 3 as there's a grab down low. You could see Kayla Clark almost yelling at the referee like, hey, she's got her arms over my shoulders. What are you doing? As Thomas picks up her first foul.
Kayla said this is not going to be an easy day for you.
And Clark is going to the line, averages 54% from the charity stripe. And the first one goes down. BCU in the bonus and has only committed 3 fouls. 1:23 to go in the first half. Pretty good crowd out here for early evening on a Monday afternoon.
Yes, that rush hour traffic.
4-point lead for the Hornets. Currently second place in the SWAC behind Jackson State coming into the day. There's an excellent shot fake, but the layup won't go from Takaya Sanders.
That's a good board.
1 minute remaining now. Harris calls the play. Goes around the screen from Clark, doesn't take the 3. Now White 10 to shoot. Back to Harris. White, Harris, underneath and gets the layup in off the rim.
I like how she came in the lane. She stutter stepped a little bit, froze the defender, so it gave her time to throw up that little baby right hook.
Here's Takaya Sanders, the top assister on the team, but loses it out of bounds or backcourt. And it's going to be Wildcats ball. So now both teams have a backcourt violation. And that's huge because this means that BCU could potentially go into the lead at the break.
And this is what I talk about, closing out the half and closing out the periods.
And after giving up that 8-0 run, they have gone on a 6-0 run themselves to bring the score back to within 1. White dances, gets it to Harris with 10. Underneath it goes, and a turnover. Emmanuel took it away from Clark. On a run, here's Rudolph. Blocked from behind by White.
Outstanding rundown by White.
And that's the second time the Cats have done that in this quarter. One by White and one by Harris. There was an intensity to this BCU women's team that I really haven't seen it since that game against Texas Southern.
Wildcat pride, Mike. Last game of the season at home. There it is.
And the ball is now tipped away, and that'll be the end of the half. So the Wildcats don't score, but they don't give one up either. They head into the break. Well, we might have a half a second or so put back on the clock. 0.5, exactly half a second put on the clock. It'll still be Bama State ball, so they can get a catch and shoot away. So one more defensive stop needed in this first half. It's going to be a launch from way downtown for Emmanuel, and she comes up short with it. At the half, it's Bethune-Cookman 31, Alabama State 32, and a very positive-looking BCU Wildcats team heading to the locker room. Good body language, shoulders rolled back. They're fired up on the bench. They've done it with the three-point shot. They're 4 of 7 from beyond the arc, just 1 of 6 for Alabama State. Here are the scoring leaders for the first half. First for BCU, Harris has 8, White has 5, Williams has 5, Reed has 4, Hayes has 3, White has 2, Clark has 2, and Beechum has 2. Everybody who got in the game for BCU has scored. And for Alabama State, Emmanuel leads the way with 15. Crawford has 6, Ward has 5, and Rudolph has 4. Thomas has 2. So it's the Ayanna Emmanuel show for Alabama State. And it's scoring by committee for Bethune-Cookman, which is really how they've done it all season, with nobody averaging in double figures, but 5 players averaging above 7.5 points a game.
Hey, we're all in. Wildcat family, Michael. It's the last home game. You got a lot of pride in it. You got 2 seniors that'll be leaving here from this great institution, and they want to go out with a win. I don't blame them. That's how you want it. You want to go out with that W at home. So we're going to see them fight to the end tonight.
All right, we will take the 15-minute break for halftime, and when we come back, it's the second half of this enthralling contest between the BCU Wildcats and the Alabama State Hornets. This is Bethune-Cookman University basketball on the Cat-Eye Network. Welcome back to more Gymnasium second half action on tap between the Alabama State Hornets and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats in the women's basketball home finale for Bethune-Cookman University. I'm Michael Travillo. Major Fillmore is alongside me for the final Cat-Eye Network basketball broadcast of the season. And it has been a dogfight. BCU down by 1 in a game that they lost back up in Alabama earlier in the season, 74-69. 74-39. So they got run out of the Acadome up there in Alabama, but they are fighting strong here.
Hey, like I said, Michael, last home game, that thing called Wildcat Pride. And the ladies are showing it tonight because this is a highly competitive game, 31-32. I look for them this half to really get Clark involved, because you can see at the end of the second period they were trying to feed her down low, but they were having some problems with the entry pass. I look for her to become a big factor. She's only got 2 points right now. I look for her to really give me this double-double that I know Miss Clark got in her.
Yeah, and one of the things that I saw Alabama State do in response to that is start double-teaming her, putting 2 bigs in the game, and start double-teaming her down low towards the end of the half, because we saw Thomas and Ward both in the game for Alabama State towards the end of that first half. Here we go. Alabama State in the road pink and white and black. Wildcats in the home gold with burgundy. Down low it goes to Ward. Nice job by Clark underneath to deflect it away, and the rebound comes eventually to Tatum Hayes.
Now, Michael, you see how that ball came off? She tipped that rebound to another defender, which she's becoming a great rebounder.
Tatum Hayes wide open for 3 from straight on. Swish. It's good. And that's one of the things that Bethune-Cookman has done so very well today. They are now 5 for 8 from downtown.
I look for T. Hayes now. That got her off, and I look for her to do that more.
And a wild pass goes over the head of Ward. So a little bit of a shaky start for the Hornets in this third quarter, much like the first quarter, because BCU came out and jumped on them with the 3 ball. And I think that kind of got ASU off kilter a little bit in the first half.
Well, you see they trying to go to that 2-man big game right now. One high-low.
And that means that somebody might be open for 3 more often than not for BCU. It's been a perimeter game so far this possession with Morgan Beechum. Beechum didn't play the last couple of minutes of the first quarter. Clark grabs the offensive board and the putback. That is her 10th rebound of the ball game.
And that's what I was talking about. She's tenacious on the boards. You were talking, Mike, about her getting double-teamed in the post. Well, that's going to be common.
And another steal for BCU to open up the half. This time, Beechum comes away with it. She finds White, and White traveled before she could get the shot up.
She got the happy feet. Saw that lane open up.
Right at the top of the broadcast, I mentioned that turnover battle is going to be important because these 2 teams are 2 of the bottom 4 in the conference in terms of turning the ball over. Alabama State 20.2, Bethune-Cookman 19.9.
Yeah, and you want to win the turnover battle. I don't care what sport you play. You want to win the turnover battle.
Inside-out motion to the corner, 3 on the way. Too strong, and the rebound comes down to Clark. That was Rudolph on the 3 attempt for Alabama State. The pink-clad Hornets swarm back on defense, force White to think better of a drive to the basket in transition. And now Beechum fires a 3. Oh, it's on fire in the building. Every Wildcat contributing from downtown. Quick 9-0 run for BCU. They lead 39-32.
Nice shot by Miss Beechum.
Down low, double team, out of bounds. BCU ball as it came off the knee of Emmanuel.
You see how Miss Clark came over, gave help to Tatum Hayes, and that made the disruption of the shot.
Mm-hmm. And I think they took a play from right out of Alabama State's defensive playbook. That's that late rotation double team that confused BCU a couple of times in the first half, and now BCU has taken that and said, hey, we can do that right back to you.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Here's a look we haven't really seen from Alabama State, a little bit of full-court press action. They just tried to get the inbounds pass, and now White comes away with it.
I think they want BCU to burn a little bit more clock, get them down deep into the shot clock.
Twist motion for Hayes, doesn't fire the three. White's open though, took a little step back before she fired it, maybe a hand on the shot by Rudolph.
I can live with that shot. I can live with that shot, Mike.
I mean, the team is so hot from three, you might as well take it if you're open. Swarming to the basketball are the Wildcats. Here is Emmanuel, who's got a game-high 15 points in the corner, and then she'll get it back from Crawford. Underneath, that's a contested layup that's no good by Ninji.
Miss Clark is making her presence known. I'm loving what she's doing right now.
Kayla White, the freshman from Cleveland, Ohio, played a lot of minutes today as a freshman. Clark on the outside, bullet pass down low to White on the baseline. White trying to work against Crawford, gets to the paint, put up no good. A rebound by Clark, a third chance for Clark, and this time it rolls out, and it goes over the baseline. Alabama State ball as White batted it off her hands.
But you gotta love the intensity, and you gotta love how we're just boarding.
It is intensity on the offensive glass, which is something that the women's team and the men's team really have been missing a little bit towards the latter half of the season. And, of course, injuries haven't helped the men's team with Robertson and the other big out.
Well, I would say it could test to people being in foul trouble, too, because we've been in foul trouble early. But tonight we're really, you see now coach is going into the 2-3 zone, really trying to keep Clark from getting any fouls.
There's a three from the outside. Oh, it hangs on the rim and falls for Kayla Jackson, the native of Gainesville, Florida, transfer from Florida A&M. So that's a matchup that Jackson is used to playing up against Bethune-Cookman. Diving on the floor for the deflected shot is Kayla White, and the offensive possession stays alive.
Gainesville, Florida, that's my neck of the woods, Michael.
Harris to her left hand. She loves that, but gets it blocked from behind by Emmanuel. She had 13 points on Saturday to lead BCU, did Camry Harris, on senior night, and a lot of it was that exact move. Right hand to left hand layup.
But that's a long defender that's defending her right now.
Clark gets the ball poked away from her, and it'll be Alabama State ball at the end of the shot clock, so I don't think there was time to get a heave up anyway by Clark. BCU on a 12-2 run, but they are scoreless over the last 2:19, and it's only a 3-point lead. Down low it goes to Najee, and it's going to be a foul underneath.
And you can see the coaches instructing Ms. Clark, keep those hands up. We don't need to get you in foul trouble.
Foul trouble not really a problem for either team. Only one on each side with three. White has three for ASU, and White has three for Bethune-Cookman. That doesn't help you, so it is Tania White for Bethune-Cookman and Hannah White for Alabama State. So here is the aforementioned Hannah White at the line, and misses the first one, but the ball goes off of the face of Kayla Clark, and that's just a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, that's just a bang-bang play. So, hey, she's being aggressive on the boards. I can live with that. Look, to be a freshman, like I said, I'm very impressed by her maturity.
Perimeter motion for White again. Down low, tried to get her defender in the air. That's a tough fadeaway shot over Tania White.
Woo. That was a WNBA-type move there, Michael.
ASU now on a 5-0 run, but Clark is open underneath, and she'll go to the free throw line as she got hammered on the back by Kayla Jackson.
And see, when Clark gets more into the workout regimen, which she is now, and by her junior year, she's gonna power over that.
I was shocked to see Clark way down on the floor by herself.
Oh, she runs the floor excellently.
And she has a very flat arc to her free throw. And I was talking about this on Saturday, how different free throw styles, and some come from the chest area, some go over their head. She goes right to the eyes, and it's flat, and she aims for that front rim. She hits them both that time. BCU comes with the press. It's barely into the front court with Jackson. Jackson runs the floor and gets it swatted by Clark.
No, no, no. In Mama Tumbo, boy. No, no, no. Not in my house.
And Kayla Clark was assured that she had deflected that ball off of the Alabama State player, but it will be Hornets ball. Corner 3 off the catch and shoot. No good. Clark couldn't quite get to that rebound. Put back off the underside of the rim by Ninji. And Harris, comes away with it. Harris battling shoulder to shoulder with Ninji.
She tried to bait Ninji into a foul.
Clark almost lost the handle. Nice 1-2 touch pass, and that is a beautiful post move by the freshman. I repeat, freshman Kayla Clark.
Yes.
43-37 BCU with the lead. That's a 3. In and out. White grabs the miss. And now Kayla White. She looked like coming down the floor with the head of steam. Looked like she wanted to take it all the way. She'll back out and run some clock. Under 5 or almost 4 minutes to go now, third quarter. Now White with a head of steam. Gets a beautiful screen from Clark. And I know Clark doesn't get the assist on the scoreboard, but give it to her.
Yes.
That screen was beautiful. Alabama State going very fast. Up and under, no good from White. And then Ethan, it'll be BCU ball on the possession arrow.
Clark is everywhere. I love it.
Morgan Beecham will take a seat. And we will head to the media timeout as we haven't had a whistle in the last couple of minutes, but BCU has survived a little bit of an Alabama State rush and has poured it on over the past 2 minutes. They've pushed the lead to 45-37. We'll take a quick break and be right back. This is BCU basketball on the Cat-Eye Network. Stay up to date with everything going on with Bethune-Cookman Athletics. Go to bcuathletics.com for schedules, stories, and all the latest information on Bethune-Cookman University sports. Bookmark it and tell your friends that's bcuathletics.com. Major Fillmore, Michael Trevillo in the building for the final home game of the year for BCU women's basketball. And Major, we were talking during that break all about Kayla Clark as she is one bucket away from a double-double, and we're midway in the third quarter.
Yes, and the key thing now, mark this down, Michael. She's not in the game right now, trying to get some rest. Yeah, so we're going to have to wave the storm because we don't have our primo big in the game.
There's a steal from Pearson, who's fresh into the game for the first time in the second half, the reigning SWAC Freshman of the Year. And there is the speed of Ayanna Emmanuel, and that was caused by the interior presence not being there.
Exactly. So we don't have interior presence of Clark. Everybody's got to be a help side defender right now. Slide over, take the charge, stop the penetration.
6-point lead for the Wildcats, and that's another turnover as Kayla White slides her pivot foot. I mentioned turnovers earlier. BCU 17 already, ASU 13. Points off turnovers is 10 apiece. And it's going to have to be disciplined basketball on both ends of the floor for BCU, because this is, if in hockey terms, Alabama State's top line.
Yes. Mike, did you just use a hockey analogy?
I just used a hockey analogy. Hey, I'm a hockey fan. What can I say? As Emmanuel gets up again, she's up to 19 points for the senior guard from Fort Lauderdale.
Got Clark and Hayes coming back in the game.
They weren't out for very long, only about 2 minutes. Beecham tripped up from behind. And you know that Jayla Crawford didn't mean to do that.
No,
she helps her up.
She helped her up. That, you know, sometimes it's just she couldn't stop her momentum from trying to be a defender, and she just pushed her over.
Now, Camry Harris will depart as well as Reed. So, Imani Reed, and she's not played bad, Imani Reed.
Oh,
She's
Imani's
played very
giving us
well,
quality minutes.
but it's the defensive height and length that we're missing with Clark not in the game, and offensively to a certain extent as well. Floated into the backcourt for Kayla White. Her season high is 15 all the way back on the 5th of January against Florida A&M. Clark in the post. That'll be another travel.
When she perfects that move, that is going to be a dangerous young woman.
And it's about ball has to go down first before you slide the pivot foot. And that's all. It's just a little bit of coordination.
But that goes into the fact of she's young, she's a freshman. She's feeling out her game right now.
Screen and pop for Jackson. That one doesn't go. White on a run, backdoor pass. Beechum lays it in.
You see how she looked the defender off and then dropped it off.
Kayla White, point guard of the future for this BCU team, and there's a travel on the other end for Emmanuel. Both teams, I think, playing a little bit frazzled at the moment.
Yeah.
The game speed is very high. Neither team is really in a great rhythm offensively. And I think the first team who can find that consistency over a 5-minute or so span has the front row seat in this game. Oh, that's a tough shot by Beechum, but underneath the foul is going to go against Hannah White. That's going to be her fourth. Oh, excuse me, that is Farrah Pearson.
And who's on the board there, Mike?
It is Clark. That is board number 15.
I'm telling you now, and she's reached out to me to do military-style workouts. So
there's Clark. That's just muscle. Muscles over Pearson, who, as I recall, is the reigning SWAC freshman of the year, goes straight over her to get to 10 points.
Again, we've had discussions about her coming to do military workouts, and I'm going to really enjoy to see her mature.
I'm telling you, Ayanna Emmanuel, watch out for her playing at the next level because she is on fire. 21 points with that three, and the lead is only 5 for BCU. As well as they have played, ASU is right there with them. Beecham in traffic. Tried to hand it back to White, and it barely got there, and now Kayla White.
One thing I see about Alabama State, is their active
White with a burst of speed. Sorry to cut you off, but you were cut off by Kayla White with an excellent two-step speed to get to the hoop.
I don't mind if it's a bucket, Michael. I don't mind.
I talk a lot about two-step speed and how that is so important for a basketball player.
Yes.
Can you beat your defender in 2 steps or less? And Kayla White has that. Beecham almost rips the ball away from Emmanuel, and now it kicks off the foot of Tanaya White. She didn't know anything about it, as Taylor Williams gets set to come back in.
And levy off of what you said, two-step speed, the best example of that would be probably the cheetah, Tyreek Hill. And NFL terms, if anybody doesn't know on this broadcast who Tyreek Hill, please Google it. And some of his highlights.
I just remember in the AFC Championship game this year, he had one catch where you thought maybe that's going to be like a 5-yard out, and he just turns on the Jets and goes for like a 40-something yard touchdown. And I remember watching that going, how is he not running the 100-meter dash in the Olympics? Ooh, that's a tough mishandle by Ward. Gives it back. Here is Hayes on a run. Gets the foul. Oh, no, it's a travel.
I understand what Hayes was trying to do. She was trying to Euro step to the other side, and it came out of her hand. I'm with her being a basketball player. So
under 30 seconds to go in a very tightly contested third quarter. That's been all 3 quarters so far. In a game that if BCU can hang on would be a massive feather in the cap of first-year head coach Janelle Creighton. But she's going to have to compete with Ayanna Emmanuel, who is pretty much all of Alabama State's offense in this game. She's got 22. Next highest is Crawford with 6.
I want Morgan to keep her composure because she's getting a little heated because of the calls.
And I think you're going to see Beechum come out for Reed here, and you will.
She's just a little upset by, the physical foul. Hey, no harm, no foul, like they say. She'll come back.
Underneath, bucket and one for Alabama State. That's Jayla Crawford going to go to the line.
This game is definitely being played in waves. You see in Jackson State make a push, then we'll make a push. We just got to make sure that we make the final push, Michael.
And second halves have been better for this team than first halves have had all season.
That's true.
And I mean, there's really hasn't been a game that has been close like this. I think they're going to get Clark for a lane violation here. And they are. I don't think there's been a game for the women that has been back and forth like this, maybe since, I'm looking at my schedule here, maybe since Mississippi Valley State all the way back on the 15th of January. BCU 57, Alabama State 47, 5 to shoot. Driving is Williams, no good. Offensive board for Reed at the horn, no good. And we will head to the final frame. Bethune-Cookman holding on to a 51-47 lead over the Alabama State Hornets. We'll take a break, and when we come back, it's the fourth quarter and the final 10 minutes of action for the women on home floor in this season. Don't miss it. This is BCU Basketball on the Cat Eye Network. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU Athletics. For the latest on BCU women's basketball, follow at BCU WBB on Twitter. Well, for Alabama State, it's been all about the senior guard, the Florida native Ayanna Emmanuel. She's got 22 points going into the, 22 points going into the final frame. Her season high was set, and BCU's going to get a turnover there. I'm going to let you guess when her season high was set. She scored 27 points.
It was against us at home.
No, it was against Florida A&M 2 days ago.
Wow.
So she is heating up at the right time for the Hornets. Oh, excellent fake of the pass, but then sold the layup short. Clark battling for it down low and got it back to Reed. Cross-court pass to Clark. Underneath. Kayla Clark battles for the board.
Here we go, the Clark show.
It's going to have to be the Kayla Clark show. She's been BCU's best so far. That's her 12th point of the ball game. To go along with that, 16 rebounds. Here is the Birmingham native. Jayla Crawford tries a three. That's no good, and White grabs the miss.
You see how she's being crafty about how she's defending the low post Clark? How she can bring the defender comes to her. She's not fouling, but she's making it real hard.
So they know that Kayla Clark only has one three-point attempt on the season. There was nobody near her on the perimeter. Oh, that's going to be another traveling violation. And again, it's that pivot foot drag.
Yeah.
And they've gotten Kayla Clark with it a couple of times tonight. But the referees have been very aggressive on calling that specific travel because they've gotten Alabama State with it a couple of times as well.
Yes.
There is Ward in the low post. They're going to get Clark for the foul. And going to the line is the redshirt junior from Memphis, Tennessee.
Nothing has been easy for Miss Ward tonight.
No. And that's the way you want it if you're in a matchup like that. Ward has played all 4 college seasons at Alabama State, averaged 12.6 points, 7.7 boards, and 1.3 assists over those 4 seasons. Redshirted her sophomore year due to a preseason injury after being named preseason All-SWAC second team. And last season she was the best player on Alabama State's team, first team All-SWAC and Box to Row second team All-American. And she hits both there. That's a risky pass. As going up for it was White. Somehow, Reed comes away with it. Clark in the low post, spinning away. That's a tough layup that won't go.
That was a tough shot.
And then Alabama State throws it away. Crawford threw it over the head of Dakaya Sanders. And everybody's got to take a little bit of a breather here and just calm down a little bit because there's some wild passes being made on both sides. And Coach Creighton is talking to the official right now about why they didn't get a foul against Tania White when she crashed to the ground in transition.
For a period, I see them probably swallowing. They whistle a little bit, Michael.
There's another screen for White. Sanders fights through it. Clark can't catch up to that one. Camry Harris just tapped her shoulder and said, yeah, that was my bad.
Yeah, Coach was trying to have her dribble down a little bit more to give a better entry pass down to the big, down to Clark.
It's a 4-point BCU lead, 53-48, and there's a steal from Tatum Hayes. Hayes runs the floor. Layup is too strong. And Rudolph grabs it and comes back the other way for the Hornets. There have been 3 or 4 of those missed transition opportunities for BCU, and then Alabama State punishes. Hannah White hits a 3, and it's a 1-point game. BCU just 1 of their last 4 from the field.
You can see Clark asking for it.
And it's going to be a kick ball going against Sanders.
You can see Clark is wanting it.
Dakaya Sanders leads Alabama State in assists coming into the game with 85. Played at Ramsey High School in Birmingham, Alabama. Harris moving to her right. Now got to get rid of it. Finds Tania White. Clark down low, double teamed, and she gets the foul. It's going to be a reach in, I believe, called against Hannah White.
Because Clark is just punishing them, and I'm loving it.
And that'll be Hannah White's 4th foul, so I wouldn't be surprised if she comes out of the game.
Now you know what Clark's nickname for me is, right? Baby Shaq, baby. She is that. She says this is my paint, and I'm loving it.
Fresh 15 now for BCU. Harris loses the ball out of bounds as she was guarded by Emmanuel.
Cam is patting her leg, knowing that was on her and that, she's better than that.
That is the 22nd BCU turnover. Alabama State has turned the ball over 18 times. There's another corner 3 on the way. Too strong. Tatum Hayes fighting for the rebound. It's going to be deflected to Ward, and Alabama State keeps it. Ward down low again. That time Clark altered the shot, and then Kayla gets crashed to the ground, but it's going to go against her. It's going to go against Ayanna Emmanuel.
And that's her
2nd foul. Only her second foul, so not really in any foul trouble. Camry Harris just came over and slapped the scorer's table on her way to the bench. She knows that she has not played up to her usual high standard, and we got to be worried now about Kayla Clark with maybe nursing an injury after that tough fall, as she's going to come out of the game as well. One-point BCU lead, 6:52 to go. This game has been back and forth since the word go.
It's a nail biter tonight, Michael.
And there's going to be an illegal, a foul going to be against Taisha Rudolph. For a second, I thought they were going to call White for an illegal screen.
Oh, no. She extended hands all the way out.
And now Rudolph heads to the bench. That was her second foul. And Kayla White retreats to the backcourt. White back to Beechum. Beechum through the trees, and she's going to go to the line. And Kayla Jackson is incredulous about that call.
Yeah, and I like the aggressiveness by Morgan Beechum. She's going to the cup. We need to do more of that, Michael, for the rest of the game, because we gotta get point blank shots. I'm liking how we're shooting from three, but we got to make sure that we are doing the little things. And right now,
and the referee don't like something about the net. And Morgan Beecham tries to fix it. Oh, look, the net seems to be caught on the backboard.
Oh, yeah.
You don't really see that often. Is there a men's basketball player around here to jump up and fix that, maybe? And we're still caught. We have a chance to sit back and have a little chat. We were talking at halftime about baseball season, currently underway. First series in the books for the Diamond Cats. They went 1-2 against the visiting Youngstown State Penguins. But we were looking at the schedule and very excited about matchups against Stetson and Florida and UCF and a lot of local rivals.
Yes. I really just say that first series was just a warm-up, tune-up, because they haven't played in over a year.
Oh, look out. Emmanuel coughed up the ball. In transition, it comes to White. White down the lane, offensive foul.
And coach is asking, how was that an offensive foul?
I mean, it looked to me like the defender's feet were still moving.
To me, too. And that was a questionable call right there.
And that was the fourth foul on White, so now she's got to be careful. Underneath it goes, and that's just bully ball from Shemaya Ward.
Yes.
And BCU's lead is down to just one. At one point, it was 8 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And we have a stoppage of play. I'm not sure for what. As we're going to get some substitutions. It's the two players with the most length on each of their respective teams. We've got Tamaria Thomas for Alabama State and Kayla Clark for BCU. Watch that matchup down low. Clark outside. Now Beecham. Beecham around the screen. Down low, Clark. Clark goes to work, gets her defender in the air, and finishes off the glass.
There goes Miss Clark again.
I said watch the matchup of the 25s, and immediately it sparks to life. 3 on the way, off to the right from Crawford. And almost a turnover, and it is a turnover as Hayes coughs it up to Sanders. Out of bounds, still Alabama State ball. Kayla Clark is 4 of 5 from the field in this quarter. Up to 14 points. But the work's going to have to come from BCU on the defensive end now. Sanders, kick out. Jackson, the former Florida A&M player, gets it to Emmanuel, who has 22 points. Underneath, that's a tough layup, won't go for Crawford. And I believe Alabama State's going to keep it. But before that, we're going to have the under 5 media timeout. Final media timeout of the contest. It'll be the final break for us as well. When we come back, it's the home stretch between Bethune-Cookman and Alabama State. Don't go anywhere. The exciting conclusion to this ball game is next on the Cat Eye Network. Baseball fans, BCU baseball is back tomorrow night at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Check out Wildcat Baseball at the Jack as they take on visiting Florida International University Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Tickets start at just $10. Turnover off the inbounds pass for BCU. Taylor Williams, who's played limited minutes in the second half but had a very good contribution in the first half. Cross-court pass finds Beechum. This is the starting unit on the floor now for BCU.
Being very patient offensively. I like this.
Clark away outside. White with 8 to shoot. Double team. Stripped to the ball. Goes to the floor. 4 to shoot for White. Fires underneath. Williams is there. And it hits the underside of the backboard. Emmanuel all the way. Oh, up and win and one.
I think they were thinking they were going to get a foul on this end, but we didn't get back on transition defense fast enough.
Ayanna Emmanuel has almost half of the points for Alabama State. She has 24 of their 56.
She's a Floridian. When you come home, you try to show out.
And the game is tied after the three-point play. BCU is going to have to earn this one over the last 4:15. Morgan Beecham, backdoor pass. Kayla Clark, up and in, and a foul as she got caught on the arm by Crawford. And exactly what you said during the break, Major. They're going to try to hack at Kayla Clark to try and make her earn this one from the line.
Yeah, but this time, the Clark say, look, I got that power.
Clark misses that and one opportunity. That's the first one she's missed from the charity stripe tonight. Now 4 of 5. Oh, no, sorry, 4 of 6. BCU with a 2-point advantage. Jayla Crawford to the corner. A 3 on the way. Good.
We've been giving up too many of those.
Guess who? It's Ayanna Emmanuel again. She's up to 28 points. Timeout Bethune-Cookman. First Alabama State lead since the second quarter. 60-59. So how do you turn off somebody like that on the defensive end? Or can you?
Well, I don't know if Coach got it in her bag. She may want to put her best defender on her and just play what we call, when I was in junior college, man +2, which means you don't let her catch. In any time, you don't let her catch. So you got to get her out of her rhythm, get her off, because she's hitting a lot of shots on the baseline. We got to get her where she's got to put the ball on the floor, and we got to get her where she's going to have to take this shot on the run.
The best on-ball defender BCU has statistically is Morgan Beechum. She leads the team with 34 steals. Kayla White not far behind with 30 steals. And BCU spent a lot of the second half in zone, and I think that's one of the reasons that baseline three has been killing us so much, because she just cuts in and then fakes to the outside, and then she's open for a catch and shoot.
And I'm looking at the Bethune huddle. It looks like Beechum is telling coach, to me, let me defend her. Let me be that one. So we'll see.
And on the other side, head coach Frida Freeman-Jackson for Alabama State in her 24th season with the Hornets.
Wow, that's being faithful.
She has spent her entire college career player and coach at Alabama State, and she was inducted in the SWAC Hall of Fame in 2019. So a player, a graduate assistant, an assistant coach, and then a head coach, all at Alabama State.
That's called paying your dues, Michael.
Full court press from the Hornets. Clark uses her length to get the ball in. Bounce pass ahead to White. Kayla White deflected away. Alabama State ball. It came off her knee.
We have got to win the turnover battle for these next 3 minutes. That's going to be what's going to win the game.
Whistle and a stoppage of play. They might go to the monitors and check this to see if it really is ASU ball. Now, we are not down on the floor. We are up top here at Moore Gymnasium, so we can't hear the discussion going on. And the third referee is now going to come over to the scorer's table. So I'm not sure what this could be, except to check and see if that ball did, in fact, come off of Kayla White's knee.
And I don't think it did.
I mean, in real time, it was tough to see. I mean, it was just a clatter of limbs down low.
True, and that's why I'm glad we go to instant replay now.
But they're not at the instant replay monitor, are the referees. They're talking in front of the possession arrow at midcourt, so I'm not sure what the issue is. All right, well, even though we're not broadcasting the game, let's turn our heads forward to tonight's men's game against Alabama State. BCU looking to go out with a win on senior night. Undersized with a couple of injuries, but they play every game close. Can they get over the hump against a team in Alabama State that is direct competition for the final playoff spot in the SWAC?
Yes. The big three got to show up, Michael, and I know we'll get to it after we get another possession.
Sanders around a screen, fires over her own player, and it just goes out of bounds without touching anything. And I think that was Shemaya Ward getting in the way.
Yeah, I think she thought she was going to get contested more for the shot.
BCU down 1. They had 1 point late in the third, led by 8.
Big possession here, Michael.
And guess what? They went to Clark.
And they were looking for it.
And Kayla White gave it away to Emmanuel. And on the other end, it's going to be an offensive foul. And they're going to give the ball back to BCU. The foul's going to go against Jayla Crawford. That'll be her 4th. So now, for Bethune-Cookman, Tanaya White has 4. Morgan Beechum has 4. And for Alabama State, Hannah White has 4. And now Jayla Crawford has 4. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see somebody sitting down before the night is over. And we have seen the full court press from Alabama State now.
Pretty much most
the
of
past
the night.
3 or 4 possessions, but specifically they have been staying up the past 3 or 4 possessions. Most of the night they sit in the full court to try and get a turnover, and when they don't get it, they back off into half court. Camry Harris back on the floor in her final game at Moore Gymnasium, the senior. Tania White down the lane, she'll go to the line. And they're going to get Ayanna Emmanuel for the foul. That'll be her 3rd. So watch that number. I wouldn't be surprised on the defensive end if they attack number 0 just to try and maybe get her out of the game.
Yes.
Because when BCU went on that 8-0 run to take that big lead in the middle of the 3rd, that's the only point of the game where Emmanuel was on the bench.
Yes.
And now here's some of those clutch free throws you mentioned about 5 minutes ago. And the first one is good. Tania White, one of the best free throw shooters the Wildcats have. And I jinxed it. Missed the second one.
Yes, you did, Michael.
60 all. Down low it goes. Over the back, going to be called against Clark. And that's her 4th. Foul trouble beginning to mount up for Bethune-Cookman.
Definitely she's got to be precautious these last 2:33. Definitely do not need to lose her for the rest of the duration of the game with it being tied.
So now 3 from Bethune-Cookman have 4 fouls, and all 3 of them are in the game. White, Clark, and Beechum. In it goes to Ward. Ward to the top scorer, Emmanuel, a bump underneath, and she'll go to the line as the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats have sent Alabama State into the bonus. And that is the final act for Morgan Beecham of the night as she is fouled out.
Did a courageous job tonight on the defensive end, contributing what she can on the offensive end. Morgan will be back.
9 points on 3 of 6 shooting tonight for Morgan Beecham. Started the season really hot, cooled off over the past month or so, but she is going to be, if not a captain, or if not the captain, one of the captains of this team next year, Beecham.
Yes, very hard-nosed, tough player. I love her enthusiasm. I love her defense, especially when it comes to being an on-ball defender.
And Ayanna Emmanuel missed the first free throw. The second one is good off the front rim.
She's a little fatigued. I'm going to tell you that now. You can tell.
BCU is going to call timeout, down by 1, 2:31 to go. And I think the most important thing for the Wildcats is be there at the end. Don't let it get away from you in this next 2.5 minutes where you don't get a shot to win.
Yes. Keep yourself in the now and in the game. And right now we're only down by 1, 2:31. We're in a good spot. We're in a good spot, Michael. I feel confident that, Miss Clark is going to do. She's going to wow you these next 2 minutes.
But this is where only having 8 active players can hurt Bethune-Cookman. There's going to be a lot of tired legs out there, and especially with 2 players having 4 fouls.
This is where you got it. What do they say, Michael? This is gut check time. How bad do you want it?
Alabama State has used 11 players, but only one of them has really mattered. Ayanna Emmanuel, who with that free throw has a season-high 29 points, bettering the 27 she got on Saturday in Tallahassee.
And if you didn't notice, she's got a nice crowd here to support her from, coming home.
Step back, missed it way short. Did Tania White. Traveling violation, and they're going to give the ball back to BCU. That was Dakaya Sanders, the sophomore, just trying to leave the zone, and that is an excellent selective trapping. Because usually you'll see teams back off there. Exactly 2 minutes to go. Camry Harris. And now Clark, and now White. White, she fires it herself, misses. Clark, the offensive board, put back, gets it blocked. It'll still be BCU ball. And it'll be a fresh shot clock since it hit the rim.
Man, let me tell you, Miss Clark is a basketball soldier. And for those who want to know what that definition is, I put it on my social media a lot. Now, I don't call a lot of people that. Basketball soldier got a basketball work ethic during the game, after the game, and they like a soldier, like a military person. They got a military work ethic, and she's showing me that. And a military mindset.
All the way up, Harris collects over top of Jackson. Jackson almost loses the ball. Floats it up, foul, offensive foul. And that is the last action for Tania White in her Moore Gymnasium career, as she has fouled out of the game. And that will send Alabama State to the free throw line. A minute 40 to go to potentially make this a three-point game. With her 18 rebounds tonight, Kayla Clark has set a new season high for Bethune-Cookman in rebounds in a game. Clark had 17 all the way back on the 19th of December against Georgia Southern. And she is up to 18 tonight.
Dare I say that before she ends this career, she's going to have a 2020 game before she leaves Bethune-Cookman University.
I would not doubt it, especially if she keeps working on her post play on the offensive end.
She got great feet. To be that young, how she moves, and that power dribble that gets her established in the right position, that young lady got a bright future. Yep. A very bright future.
So she played at Miami Central High School, and the Rockets turn out talent, both boys and girls basketball and football, to be perfectly fair.
That's just a powerhouse school.
Year. Just D1 talent all over the place at Miami Central.
Like I want to say they got, at right now offhand, I want to say they got about 8, 9, 10 active dudes in the NFL right now.
I wouldn't be surprised. We have not seen the other Miami Central prospect on this roster, Taisha Dashis, but it's been sporadic minutes for her this season. As there is a video review going on downstairs, which is why we have the stoppage of play. It was not a timeout.
Probably just to see if the elbow was malicious and see if she did it on purpose. But she didn't do it on purpose. I could see that from him.
Yeah.
It was just a basketball play. Sometimes it's not on purpose, just like we said before when Morgan Beechum got pushed over. Really what? It was a basketball play. It was just basketball players being basketball players. So, physicality of the game comes.
I recall the game over at the Ocean Center earlier this year where BCU had a men's player got a double technical for a very similar kind of foul, elbow underneath, that at the time I thought was, just a basketball play going for a rebound, but it was flagrant 2 called.
It was just a common foul. You can see she didn't mean anything by it.
But either way, Alabama State has the ball, a 1-point advantage, and 2 of BCU's best players fouled out of the game with Beechum and White. And now Imani Reed's going to have to step up big because she is guarding Emmanuel. Sanders to Jackson.
Gonna run a little bit of dribble handoff just to burn a little clock.
Oh, that's a tough foul called against Reed. They're going to get her for a reach in, and that will send Emmanuel to the line, where she is a 72.2% free throw shooter on this season and 9 of 12 tonight.
I'm going to take a quote from a famous commentator who does college basketball. I'm not going to say his name, but he said that was a nickel and dimer.
And really, they've been calling those all night. That's been the kind of whistles we've been getting with the traveling violations and the up and downs. Well, not up and downs, but palming. Seen that called a couple of times, double dribble.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
3-point lead for Alabama State. And you said it, the Hornets have a decent amount of traveling supporters that are sitting off to our right. I mean, they've got 2 Floridians, Emmanuel, of course, we've been talking about all night, but also Kayla Jackson from Gainesville.
So you got a Florida presence. You know, Miss Emmanuel has come in. She's from Fort Lauderdale, the 954. Dillard High School. So Dillard's another famous school for pumping out basketball and football D1 talent. So she's got a high pedigree, just like Clark does.
Yep. Ayanna Emmanuel spent all 4 seasons at Alabama State, averaged 13.3 points, 3.9 rebounds, 1.9 assists, and 1.3 steals per game. 2017 SWAC Freshman of the Year, first team box to row All-American as well. First team All-SWAC last season, scored 1,000 career points in 3 seasons at Alabama State.
She's been faithful to her school, and you can see it.
And there's a lot of those on Bama State. I mean, they don't really have a lot of transfers just off the top. Let me count.
That's a testament to your coaching staff and their loyalty to that coaching staff.
They only have 3 college transfers on the roster. The other 9 players are all high school recruits. Camry Harris, reverse, up and in. BCU down by 1 minute to play. Gonna have to get a stop from the defensive end. Jackson backs out of it. And now Sanders. Watch for number 0.
I look for Emmanuel. She gets the ball, they're going to double team her.
And they didn't get it to Emmanuel. They went down low. And Ward couldn't hit. And BCU calls a timeout. 39 seconds to go. And they're going to get a chance to draw something out up here. What do you draw up in this situation? Do you draw up a 3? Do you try to get it down low? What do you do?
2-man game with Kayla White. Not Kayla White. Excuse me. I think so. Kayla White, the point guard, if I'm right. And Miss Clark. I would go to that 2-man game, do a screen roll. If we don't have that, I see that we got Tatum Hayes in the game too. She may pop out for a 3. That's where your 3 may come from.
And also Camry Harris, who's the best 3-point shooter on the team at 38.9%. Wouldn't that be a hero moment in your last game in the gymnasium?
I would love that for her because that's how you close out the game.
But they're going to get a chance with 39 seconds left. But this ultimately will come down to the defensive end if they score, because there's still going to be about 12 seconds for Alabama State to call timeout. They have 1 left and draw something up on their end.
Yes.
But you can't get too far ahead of yourself. This one has to go, or you're going to start fouling down by 1.
And if we miss the shot, look for Miss Clark coming on the backside, getting that offensive rebound and putting the putback in.
Dare I say, the biggest offensive possession of the season for Bethune-Cookman.
Yes.
They're out of contention for the SWAC tournament, and to beat a team that was 1 point away from winning the title last year and is a favorite, one of the 2 favorites along with Jackson State, to win it this year. It all comes down to this possession. Kayla White, the freshman, will run the point. It'll be Camry Harris. 1-on-1. Harris down low. Gets it. Blocked, but a foul. And Harris is going to go to the line.
The senior being a senior.
And a senior playing through an injury.
The senior being a senior.
Remember, she went down yesterday at the very end of the game, missed the last 5 minutes against Alabama A&M. And you can see her movement is not as fluid as it has been all season long, but she is battling.
As she got off that ground, she said, "This is my time right now."
Harris. No good on the first. The native of Suffolk, Virginia, has been loyal to this Bethune-Cookman team ever since she arrived here in 2017. And she ties the game at 63.
I look for Bethune to disrupt this, get it out of her hands, Emmanuel.
21 seconds to go, shot clock is off. Alabama State could hit the potential game winner. Last time that happened here was FAMU. Hit the winner against BCU back on the 5th of January. Into the corner. Sanders open for three, doesn't take it. 7 seconds to go. It's going to be a mid-range jump shot. It's going to be no good. Offensive board, and we will head to extra basketball. The first overtime game at Moore Gymnasium this season, and it's the last one. How about that?
A little bit of extra time.
Oh, boy. If you thought the energy in this building was low before, it has turned up to 11.
Intensified.
5 more minutes of basketball. Hey, maybe it's a good thing that they pushed the men's game back to 9 p.m. tonight.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Because it is just past 7 o'clock. The game in real time has ticked over 2 hours. And I could not think of a more entertaining way for the Cat Eye Network to say au revoir for basketball season in the 2021-22 season.
I totally agree, Michael. It's been a good one. This is how you end it. I didn't think any less that we wouldn't have something like this for
And I want to talk just before we get into the final 5 minutes, or the extra 5 minutes, about the upward trajectory of this women's basketball team this season. They looked very out of sorts in non-conference play. They got down a little bit at the beginning of conference play. The loss to FAMU didn't help, but they got it back together. They went on that 2-game winning streak earlier this month. They picked up the home win against Texas Southern. They're forcing overtime against Alabama State. The future of this team is so high because they have belief. Even down 19 on Saturday to A&M, they still came back and only lost the game by 5. They have that belief in themselves that no deficit is too big, no challenge too big to overcome. And I am excited to see what head coach Janelle Creighton does with a signing class, what transfers she's potentially get to come in to complement the players that we already have. And we talked about it all day. The 2 freshmen, White and Clark, the future of this team. But you've also got Taylor Williams coming back, Morgan Beechum coming back, Tatum Hayes coming back, Imani Reed coming back. This team will be largely similar in roster construction next season, plus a couple of extra pieces as Clark wins the tip, but it came off of the referee, so I think we might re-jump.
Yeah. And I'm gonna echo what you said, Michael. For those people that are listening out here at our broadcast, this future in BCU athletics, be encouraged, alumni, be encouraged, fans, that this is a die-hard athletic program that is going to fight every night for you. So be ready.
They're going to give the ball to Alabama A&M. I am not sure why. Because it looked like Kayla Clark won that tip. The ball bounced off the referee, and then she got it back.
Yes.
The only thing I could possibly think of is there was a foul in there somewhere. But they didn't put a foul on the board. But it's neither here nor there as Alabama State controls.
Could have been a jump ball violation. That could be the only thing I could think of, Michael.
Could be, but it doesn't matter now. BCU's going to have to bunker down and play defense. In the corner. 3 on the way from number 3. Jayla Crawford has been the second best scorer on this Alabama State team. She's up to 12, the only other scorer in double digits behind Ayanna Emmanuel's 31. Camry Harris on the baseline, trying to go up and under, hits the bottom of the rim. BCU's going to keep it as it came off of Shemaya Ward.
I like what she did. She realized she had the big on her and she could blow past her.
Hayes floats it up to Clark. Clark down low, stops in the lane, finds Reed, open for a mid-range jump shot, no good. Clark in traffic, comes down with it, puts it up, no good, and the second chance opportunity goes begging as Crawford comes away with it.
I thought Clark had a foul on that, but I guess the ref didn't see it my way.
And they're going to get Tatum Hayes for a foul now as a reach-in on Emmanuel. They're going to get Kayla White for it, I believe. And there's going to be a lot of free throws over the next 3 minutes and 55 seconds of game time. This to give Alabama State a 2-possession lead, and it's good. Now this one would be to match Alabama State's largest lead of the night, which came all the way back in the middle of the second quarter, and it's good. It's about time, I think, for BCU to try and bring the 3-ball back. They're 60% from beyond the arc tonight on 6 of 10 shooting.
Fatigue becoming a factor, Michael.
Tatum Hayes fires, misses everything. And I mentioned fatigue with only the 8-man roster and the 12 players that Alabama State has been able to rotate in and out.
Look for Emmanuel to be aggressive.
Especially with Clark with 4 fouls. Down low, Ward, extra pass. Up and in by Emmanuel. 7-0 run to begin overtime for Alabama State. Well, you mentioned earlier, Major, this is a game of runs.
Yes.
And Alabama State just had their best one of the night right when they needed it most. But that's what good teams do.
Yes.
Even when they are challenged, they rise to that occasion.
Hey, championship caliber teams. What can you say? Hey, Emmanuel, she came home from Fort Lauderdale. She's had a great game.
Her best game of the season and potentially the best game of her career. I will look up some career numbers for her.
She's impressed me, and I think she's impressed the WNBA scouts enough to at least get a look. And if they're listening to my broadcast, I think you'll be getting a pretty good player.
So, the 33 points is officially a new career high for Ayanna Emmanuel, besting the 32 she put up against Texas Southern last season. Yep. A volume score in the truest sense of the word.
If you take her out of the equation, we're going home.
And we win this game by a wide margin because
yes.
Nobody else on Alabama State's roster has more than 12 points.
But, you know, first-team SWAC players like herself do things like that because they know the team is struggling.
Harris, step back. That'll be a long 2 off the back iron, no good. Excellent box out by Ward.
Look for Alabama State to run some clock.
Into the hands of the junior from Columbus, Mississippi, Hannah White. And now, Pearson, who has played sparingly tonight, the reigning SWAC Freshman of the Year, out of bounds, BCU ball. And Taylor Williams is going to come back in. Farrah Pearson, a 3-time state high school championship at Hazel Green High School in Alabama. 3-time All-State team, but has played sparingly tonight, only averaging 4 points a game, down from the 7.8 of her award-winning freshman season.
You got to have a sense of urgency a little bit because with 2:30, we're down by 7.
Harris just fires from 3. caroms off the back iron, no good.
We're definitely going to have to think about here trapping, Michael, here if we're going to try to get back in the game.
BCU 1 of their last 9 from the field. Almost a steal. It is a steal. White down the lane, puts up a layup. No good, but she'll go to the line.
That was a good anticipation to get that steal.
And I believe that is Hannah White's 5th foul, and she is out of the game. As she gets some encouraging words from her head coach, Frida Freeman-Jackson, and takes a seat.
Been a frustrating night for her.
And she picked up 3 fouls in the first quarter in the span of about 4 minutes. And after that, it's been a little bit tough sledding.
And that kind of got in her head. Then, you really can't get into a good defensive rhythm once you get 3 fouls real quick.
And she went straight to the locker room. She didn't stop at the bench. She went all the way down the tunnel.
Frustrating night, Michael.
The first points of overtime have finally come for BCU over 3 minutes and 20 seconds into it. Both free throws go down for White. 4-point game. Here comes the trap. Sanders moseys across the time stripe into the hands of Pearson. Here is Emmanuel, double teamed on the edge. Breaks the double team all by herself. Mid-range floater, swish, it's good from Crawford.
Hey, Alabama State's taking every punch we give them, Michael.
Williams spins, runs into traffic and travels.
When she perfects those moves where she's not going to be traveling, oh my God, going to be a beast.
Taylor Williams, the junior from Rahway, New Jersey, started her career at Pensacola State, then Daytona State, and now here at Bethune-Cookman as another transition bucket goes down for the Hornets.
Now we got to start looking at threes.
1:18 to go, and the overtime period has been all the team from the Dixie State. As BCU is going to go to the line again, as they're going to get Pearson for the foul. Kayla White at the line, and she may only have 8 points, but she has run the point for most of the game, and up against a team like this as a freshman, a big time learning experience for Kayla White tonight.
Yes, because Alabama State had a lot of length, so she's you have those, as we call, growing pains, and she's going through it, but she's weathered the storm. She's done a great job this year, and I look forward to seeing what she's going to do next year.
All 4 points for BCU in the overtime period have come at the free throw line. 1-2 passing into the front court. 1 minute to go. And an intentional foul on Tatum Hayes. Tatum Hayes is her 3rd personal foul. She's another player that I'm excited to see come back next season.
Yes. Definitely.
And I believe next season, I think Tatum Hayes is going to have to take the mantle from Camry Harris of the 3-point shooting go-to.
Oh, definitely, because Cam had, she was instant offense from the arc, and we're going to need that next year because now they got film on Clark, so they're really going to try to double down on her.
White gets it swatted away underneath by Shemaya Ward. Is there more for the ridiculous night that Ayanna Emmanuel is having? And she will get a chance for 2 more.
She's having a Jordan-type night right now.
34 points for Ayanna Emmanuel. And I don't believe I can look up the numbers fast enough, but that might be the single best scoring performance by any one player against BCU this season.
In Moore Gym at that.
In Moore Gym especially, but maybe just completely. Timeout. Bethune-Cookman, 48 seconds to go. The Alabama State lead is up to 11, but take nothing away from the brave performance by the women in burgundy and gold tonight.
Yes, hey, look. You can only applaud them for what they've done this year and also this game. It's a testament to the coaches and the players themselves because, you know, and being transparent about it, Mike, you have a coaching change, so players have to get comfortable with the coaching changes, not in the sense of that, but what they're looking for and the offensive scheme that they're running. So now, you know, the ladies, this was a trial run.
Yeah. And not just a coaching change, but a year off as well due to the pandemic. The entire athletic department didn't play the 2020-21 season. Like no Bethune-Cookman player suited up in any sport. So that long of a drought, 2 years in some cases.
True.
And I am very impressed by the character of Camry Harris and Kayla White and all the players who stayed here.
Yeah.
They could have easily transferred to another institution and played last season and maybe gotten another year with the graduate transfer rules. But they stayed here. They stayed at Bethune-Cookman. Oh, that's a ridiculous and one for Kayla Clark. Fading away, hand in her face by a woman that is 6'3".
That was a Karl Malone type move there. I like that.
That was ridiculous.
I like that.
A glimpse of the future.
Oh, a big glimpse into the future.
18 points, 19 rebounds for Kayla Clark. She's likely going to fall just shy of 20 and 20. And that's what you said right at the beginning of the game. You said 20 and 20.
I said in her career, and I'm going to go this distance, and I'm looking at some of the good Cat Eye Network personnel here, and shout out to them for a great job. Kayla Clark, Miss Clark going to get a 25-25 game before her career is over. She's a Miami native, and if you, Mike, being a Floridian, a lot of people, and knowing some of my friends that went to Miami Central, it's a gritty, hard-nosed type player that you're getting. You're getting somebody that's going to put it all on the line.
Yeah, and with a summer of collegiate level work under her belt, I'd love to see what she does next year. So
it's going to be tremendously ugly.
Future is bright in Moore Gymnasium for both teams. And because let's talk, switch gears and talk about the men for just a minute. It hasn't been really the season that they wanted either, but they have upset some teams as well.
Yes, and the big key push, Mike, is going to be the big three. Marcus Garrett, KJ Davis, and Joe French.
And an offensive foul and a push-off is going to be called on White. That's her fourth. Kayla Clark fouled out of the game, so she will finish with 18 points, 19 rebounds. Taisha Dashus, the other Miami Central player on this team, is into the game. She has played sparing minutes this year, a transfer from Benedict College. And she's the only player on the roster not to get a start this season. But she didn't play due to eligibility rules until the end of January, only has played in 9 games. She is a junior, so again, potentially a summer under her belt with this program. We could see her play minutes off the bench next season.
Yes.
Well, the final score will not at all be representative of the fantastic game of college basketball we saw here in Moore Gymnasium tonight.
Yes, and I totally agree on that. Being of what we've seen of the ladies, this has been a great
Oh, and one more for the road. One more for the road to give. 3 at the buzzer is no good, but one more for the road to give Ayanna Emmanuel 36 of the team's 83 points.
This woman almost dropped 40 points in Moore Gym. That has never been done. I've been here some years, since 07, Michael. I've never seen anybody come into Moore Gym, men's or women, and drop 39, a 39 burger in this gym.
One of the most impressive performances individually I have seen in a long time at any level. She single-handedly willed her team to a victory in Moore Gymnasium tonight.
Yes, she did.
Before we get final thoughts, let's quickly round out with some stats. Kayla Clark had her best performance of the season, 18 points, 19 rebounds to lead Bethune-Cookman. Harris in her final game at Moore Gymnasium had 11. Kayla White had 10. Morgan Beechum 9. Tania White in her last game at Moore had 6. Tatum Hayes had 6. Taylor Williams had 5. Imani Reed had 4. For Alabama State, now the scoreboard in the gym and my stats book do not agree, but I'm going to read out what the live stats numbers have. They have her at 41 points, 11 of 15 shooting, 17 of 20 from the free throw line.
So you're telling me, Michael, she did get a 40 burger tonight?
She did indeed get 40 points.
Wow.
Crawford was next with 14, an inverse of her score. Ward had 11, Rudolph 6, White 5. Jackson 3, Thomas 2, and Sanders just 1. Pearson, Njay, and Ashley did not score. Well, as we wrap up our final basketball broadcast of the season here on the Cat Eye Network, it has been a bittersweet couple of months here at Moore Gymnasium. It's been a fantastic season. Men's and women's teams, we thank everybody for listening throughout the season. Major baseball season coming up. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. But
yes,
say goodbye to Moore Gymnasium for this season.
I just want to say goodbye to Moore Gym. It's not saying goodbye, it's saying see you later.
See you next time.
I want to give a shout out to the whole Cat Eye Network. You know, Darren and all his kids, they do an excellent job. You know, I look forward to working with them in the future. So that's all I got to say, Michael.
Yeah, remember, 9 p.m. Eastern, the men's game is going to be on ESPNU if you have cable, or you can go to ESPN.com/watch to find that game. So, for Darren McCaskill, Major Fillmore, my name is Michael Turillo. Thank you for watching the Cat Eye Network's production of BCU basketball all season long. So long, have a good night, and hail Wildcats.
Hail Wildcats.